Okay, I'm reloaded. You motherfucker think you big time? F with JayZ, you gonna die big time. Here come the pain.
Sort of like you're dry snitching on JayZ. How do you feel about those comments, and how would you respond to that statement?
I'm trying to figure out what kind of dry snitching on him about. Listen, from reasonable doubt, we can go all the way to American Gangster. It's been about me. Like I said, it wouldn't be no Rockefeller empire if it wasn't for me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm about to expose all y'all bitch ass niggas. I got y'all.
You might know JayZ, the billionaire rapper who dropped hits like Hard Knock Life, 99 Problems, and Empire State of Mind. But before the fame, the Grammys, and the Forbes list, there was a time when Jay had a big brother, not by blood, but by bond. His name was DeHaven.
With that stain in my membrane, got on my pimp game. The world, my defense came. Then DeHaven introduced me to the gangs. DeHaven introduced me to the gangs. DeHaven introduced me to the gangs. Spanish Jose introduced me to Kane. I'm a hustler now.
Back in Marcy projects, where the building stood tall and the rules were simple, either you survive or you don't, DeHaven and JayZ grew up side by side. Their families were tied together in ways that went deeper than the average neighbor. Jay's mother and DeHaven's mother were best friends. Their sisters were inseparable. That made JayZ and DeHaven more than just kids from the same block. They were raised like family. Jay wasn't the loudest in the room. He wasn't trying to be flashy. He was quiet, sharp, and curious. The kind of kid who stayed 2 steps behind but never stopped watching. DeHaven, on the other hand, was already deep in the streets. He knew the codes, the players, and the consequences. He had weight in the game, and that weight gave him power. JayZ walked through Marcy's protection because DeHaven made it so.
A form of cocaine that was even cheaper.
The big guys looked out for the little guys.
But the streets weren't just dangerous, they were profitable. And DeHaven wasn't just surviving, he was thriving. He ran serious operations, and he moved real heavyweight product, high volume. His territory didn't stop at Brooklyn. He expanded his network into Maryland, where the prices were lower and the flip was cleaner. He had suppliers, runners, transport routes, stash houses. He understood the business and ran it like one. DeHaven didn't just involve JayZ, he trained him. He brought him into the game as an apprentice, gave him a role, walked him through the process, taught him how to spot a setup, how to avoid a wire, how to flip a pack and stretch the profits. Jay didn't have street power on his own. The two of them started running weight from New York to Maryland. Jay carried the product. They hit the highways with bricks and rental cars, sometimes with girls to reduce suspicion. DeHaven already had the police patterns figured out, the stash spots picked, and the buyers lined up. He gave Jay access to it all. DeHaven had a simple rule. You got them things and they cheap, you the man. And rest assured, Jay wasn't a street boss. He was just smart. But JayZ didn't always remain in the drug business. His shift toward music wasn't sudden, but it was deliberate. As the money from Maryland drug runs piled up and DeHaven kept building his street empire, JayZ was already thinking about how to turn everything he had seen into lyrics. He was never the one making the calls on the block. He was the one absorbing the world around him and turning it into bars. The transition came with purpose. The streets gave him a storyline. DeHaven gave him the details. Jay gave it a rhythm. In 1996, JayZ dropped Reasonable Doubt, his debut album. It was immediately embraced by the streets and the industry. Every track was sharp, bars about paranoia, betrayal, silent codes, and big deals. Those weren't his stories, they were DeHaven's. Jay had watched DeHaven run crews, dodge indictments, organize safe houses, and operate under real pressure. Jay didn't fabricate the paranoia, he studied it.
Get your weight up. I am 2.2 pounds, you're barely 125 grams. Wouldn't expect y'all to understand this money due to knowledge.
DeHaven later said that the entire album was his life. Jay just told it better. The plugs, the betrayals, the weight, the ambition. It was all secondhand. JayZ became a lyrical mirror, reflecting DeHaven's experiences without ever naming the source. Their lines about trust issues, about fearing close ones, about being hunted in silence, those weren't metaphors. They were coded retellings of DeHaven's reality. Jay turned street knowledge into platinum verses, but the street knowledge wasn't his to begin with. Inside the industry, there were quiet questions. Jay sounded authentic, but too authentic. It made some wonder, was Jay a hustler turned rapper or a rapper telling someone else's story hustle? Either way, the music hit hard, and DeHaven's role remained invisible. Then came the moment that changed everything. DeHaven got shot. He was deep in the game, still running weight, still shielding Jay from the fallout. But the bullet didn't come with a warning. And when DeHaven landed in the hospital, JayZ didn't show up. No visit, no phone call, nothing.
hospital days, reflecting when my man laid up on the uptown high block. He got his side sprayed up. I saw his life slipping.
This wasn't just a one-off. Jay's mother, the same woman who once asked DeHaven to protect her son no matter what, didn't come either. The silence was total. DeHaven was left bleeding, alone. No one from Jay's world stepped in. For DeHaven, it wasn't about pride. It was about what he had done. He had protected Jay, opened doors, introduced him to the game, made sure he never touched the chaos directly. And when DeHaven needed a brother, Jay disappeared. That was the turning point, the first sign that the bond they had wasn't as mutual as he thought. DeHaven later realized, I bled for him, he vanished for me. From that day on, the gap between them wasn't just emotional, it was permanent. After DeHaven got picked up in a federal drug conspiracy case, he didn't ask for much, just a little support. He told his girlfriend to track down JayZ to reach out to the man he once called his brother, the same man he protected, fed, and taught how to move weight across state lines. But Jay didn't pick up, he didn't send a lawyer, he ducked the entire situation like it never happened. DeHaven sat in prison, watching JayZ become a global icon. Rockefeller was rising, their albums were selling, but behind the success, Jay had cut every tie to the people who gave him that image in the first place. He ended up serving almost 5 years in federal prison, years he spent in silence, while watching everything he built turn into platinum lyrics and business deals. And while DeHaven, Emery, and others were serving time, JayZ remained untouched. On the streets, people started whispering that Jay had protection, specifically that he was involved with Desiree Perez, a known federal informant now running Roc Nation.
You talking about a woman that had a relationship with the feds for 20-something years, right? When you working for them, you got an agent, your agent that's in charge of you. You think she don't have no relationships with over the years with all these agents?
Then came the lyrics. Jay started planting quiet shots in his verses. In the track Black Republican with Nas, he said, "You were just the son of my mother's friend." That one line cut deeper than anything else. Because it was deliberate. Publicly, Jay rewrote their entire relationship like DeHaven was never family, never in the crew, never anything more than a neighbor. But the truth never changed. DeHaven never flipped, never took a deal, never said a word to the feds. While others in their circle cooperated and got breaks, DeHaven stayed silent. He carried the weight for everyone. And still, Jay denied him like he never existed. Emery Jones had been part of the same circle, and DeHaven had protected him during some of the hardest years in the streets. Tata was there too, another close friend who stayed in JayZ's world as the fame grew.
Tata is right, Jay's so-called right-hand man, fuck him. Tata been biting bulls for a minute.
When Jay began controlling the narrative, Emery disappeared from DeHaven's life without explanation. No arguments, no confrontation, just quiet distance. Both Emery and Tata eventually returned to JayZ's inner circle, trusted and visible. But DeHaven was never brought back. His name was left out, and his story was left behind. Now, you might all be thinking, what exactly happened between these two brothers who were this close? And then suddenly, JayZ erased DeHaven like he never existed. Let me clear that curiosity. Many people close to the situation believe everything changed after DeHaven was indicted on a federal conspiracy. He was facing real charges, the kind that comes with surveillance, informants, and risk to everyone still associated with the old life. DeHaven reached out through his girlfriend. He asked her to contact JayZ, not for money or favors, but for support. Jay avoided the conversation. He stayed unreachable. The industry was watching, business deals were coming, and any association with a federal case could compromise everything. He stopped answering not just DeHaven, but anyone tied to that chapter. He didn't argue or confront, he just disappeared. That quiet distance grew into silence, and then that silence turned into erasure. To answer those questions, DeHaven released Marcy Made. It was a documentary with facts, family stories, real names, and real footage. For the first time, people outside Brooklyn saw what had really happened. They saw DeHaven's mother, they saw the loyalty, they saw the abandonment. And most of all, they saw that DeHaven wasn't trying to ruin JayZ. He was just trying to reclaim his place in a story that was taken from him.
I think this what it was with Jay not really being able to forgive me.
The documentary didn't start a war, it started a conversation, and a conversation that hasn't ended yet. So have you seen the Marcy Made documentary? If you have, tell us what you think. If not, is it on your list? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We're reading every one.